Welcome back. You're watching Power Breakfast on CNBC-TV18. Well, back home on the Wall Street, the Nifty and the Sensex ended the trading session on Friday with minor gains. However, when you look at from the low point of the day, the Nifty gained over 100 points from the day's low, and the Sensex also managed to recoup nearly 400 points during the day to end marginally higher. Nifty Bank gained the most among the frontline indices, up almost 500 points from low, and the mid-caps also saw some bounce back. But how are the cues looking for this morning? Nigel will tell us all of that. Nigel, tell us.
Well, Anisha, it's good news, first of all, that we have positive global cues that are coming in there. The US markets ended with gains, and the Asian markets as well. They're looking quite good early this morning. So global backdrop is positive. Now, in Friday's trading session, the Nifty did well. It recovered well from the low point of the day. The Nifty Bank was a relative outperformer, and good to see even the broader markets did participate. At the end of the day, though, it was the same story. The FPIs, they continue selling. They sold around 1,300 crores odd. The DIs, they put in their bid. They bought in close to around 1,000 crores odd. But net institutions were net sellers to the tune of around 300 crores odd. So FPIs, they continue to sell. That's a bit of a worry. Now, if you're looking at the F&O market, and we have one live indicator, that's the Nifty futures premium or discount. Now, the previous trading session, it was at a discount. It moved into the premium, telling you that there were some long positions that were added as well. Though the FIs, they net short on the index, yet again, they added more shorts than longs. And in fact, now the short positions are close to around 72%. Long positions only at around, 28% or thereabouts. In terms of the option data, well, they bought more calls than puts, so that's positive. And they wrote more puts than calls as well, telling you they believe that maybe, in fact, there could be some sort of a base at around the 10,750 odd mark. And that's precisely what they did. Just take a look at that. They bought more calls than puts. And you pull up the next plate, you'll see that they wrote more puts than calls as well. Short point, the bulls will believe they can defend the recent low. That's around 10,783 odd. That was on August 5th. So they'll be looking at that level very, very closely. And if you're looking at, a couple of other levels as well in terms of the Nifty, the bears will be eyeing the mark of around the 11,181. And the bulls, there seems that there was some writing at around the 10,900 put. There was some writing at around the 11,000 put as well. So short point on the downside, 10,780. On the upside, 11,181. That's the level from where we did a bit of a U-turn. And if you're looking at the 20 DMA and the 200 DMA as well, that comes in around that 11,200 odd mark. In terms of earnings, quite a few disappointments came in the first quarter. And CLSA, they have cut their earning estimates by around 5%. And I'm a little worried, Anisha, because for the last few years, every time at the start of the year, everyone talks about 25% growth. Right. By the middle of the year, they talk about 15% growth. And at the end of the year, we get less than 10% growth. This time around, CLSA is saying now they're expecting close to around 18%. Let's hope they get that.
Let's see whether we get that 18% earnings growth or not. But Nigel, in terms of the stocks, what are you watching out for?
First up, we look at Unichem. Well, we have, ICTA has accessed the Form 483 out there. One of their plants were inspected and they have been issued 4 observations. We'll keep an eye out on that stock. DHFL, well, the stock is only, less than a tenth of what it was valued at a year ago. But they couldn't, they're not in a position to submit their Q1 numbers within the stipulated time. Though they're hopeful that on September 14th, they'll come up with the numbers. Another smaller stock we look at is Kridan Infra. Out there, one of their associate companies have won an order of around 150 crores odd. The stock has been a big underperformer, so just keep that in mind as well. Coffee Day, they have issued a clarification in terms of their debt position. They say that, after selling the global Village Tech Park, their debt will come down by half to around 2,400 crores. They say that all the debt obligations will be honored, so we'll keep an eye out on that stock. It's been on continuous lower circuits. And also keep an eye out on RBL Bank because they have some exposure to Coffee Day. Though RBL Bank has other, question marks and other problems as well. This is one stock that you should keep an eye out on. Sundaram Clayton, yes, yet another stock. They announced a shutdown on a couple of days due to the slowdown across the sector. And in terms of technical moves, few stocks that were trading only on the BSE, now they'll be available on the NSE as well from today itself. You have SpiceJet, Force Motors, Westlife. Some of them should come up for you on the screen. Waterbase as well. And finally, Cupid, they have won an order of around 14 crores in terms of, they won an order from Uganda. So they'll be supplying male condoms out there. So keep an eye out on that stock. And finally, Ujjivan Financial Services, they've announced an IPO of the bank. A couple of notes that are flashing for you on the screen as well. The stock should be under pressure because even in the base case, it depends on what sort of a discount you're giving it. Short point, this becomes a holding company. So that's why the stock should be under pressure today.
Okay, so Jeevan is the stock that we will keep an eye out on. In fact, a whole host of stocks that you need to keep on your radar. We'll do one thing, we'll slip into a short break and come back with more details on that story.